everyone, and welcome back to Fall Decorating with Happy Hot Home. Today, I am going to bring you along as I make a fall topiary made with apples. So what I'm going to make today is an apple topiary that you can use as a centerpiece in your home, in your kitchen, in your family room, anywhere that you like, but it is made with real apples. If you saw in my prior video, I made a pumpkin, a live pumpkin filled with live flowers. And I said that you can use faux pumpkins, you can use faux florals, and in this centerpiece, you can do the same if you want. If you want to use faux apples because you'd like it to last longer, then you can do that too. I am going to use real apples, and we're going to see how it turns out. So, okay, so let's get started. You can use any type of vessel you want for your topiary. I am choosing a silver punch bowl, and I've cleaned it up a little bit, I've shined it up a little bit. It is just a silver punch bowl on a pedestal. So what you are going to need to do is you're going to need to create a form for your apples. That's the only way it's really going to work. And the easiest way to create a form is with chicken wire. And not just any chicken wire, because I've tried several and they don't all work. But chicken wire is just a great way to get your florals to stay in a floral arrangement. I can use this, fill it with water, and add flowers to it, which I can do in another video. But today, what I'm going to do with this form and vase is create an apple topiary. So, not all chicken wire can be used for your floral arrangement. I will link this one here because, as I said, there are several types that I've tried, and this one by far works the best. I have another one that I bought at, I think it was like Lowe's a few years ago when I was making floral arrangement, and the gauge is so heavy, and as you know, the ends are very, very sharp, and it's very hard to move, and it's pliable, but it's just difficult to move, and the edges are so incredibly sharp. So I don't recommend that one. I have used it before, and in another floral arrangement it works, but for this type of arrangement, it just didn't work. And I did try it. So don't use that one. I also tried a plastic chicken wire. That didn't work well either. So I stumbled upon this one, which was the perfect gauge, and like I said, I will link it, and it works great, and it's very, very pliable. So, okay. What you can do, you can, if you want to free-form this and try to make a round form yourself, what I did is I got a basketball and I folded the chicken wire around the basketball to create a nice round form, and then I cut it. And then, so I had the nice round form and I put it into my vase. You also need to secure it. You need to secure it so that when you start putting your apples in, it's just not gonna be moving around. And one of the things to use for that is floral tape, which is really great. So I bought some floral tape here, but it's the wrong type of floral tape. It's not the sticky type of floral tape. So this did not work. So just a little tip that if you are buying floral tape, this is the floral tape that you would use to like wrap around a wreath and does not have a sticky end. So the floral tape you would want for this is just like regular tape. It's green and one side is sticky. So there's just a little tip right there. Again, bomb. So I had to experiment with chicken wire, I had to experiment with this, and I think I'm good. But what you do need to do, since I did not have any floral tape, I just used regular sticky tape. So I secured the ends of it so that it will not fall out, as you can see. And again, just regular sticky tape. Since this is a very, the wire's not very thick, the regular sticky tape worked just fine. But you do need to secure it in your vessel. Okay, that is number one. Number two, so how are we going to take these apples and how are we going to attach them in here? Shish kebab skewers. I happen to have a container of these in my drawer, just these bamboo shish kebab skewers with a pointy tip, which gets, into the apple very easily. This is what you want to use for this type of arrangement. So let's go over. Vessel, chicken wire, tape, shish kebab skewers. That is what I am using so far. And I am going to decorate it in the end. I have some of this green peat moss, and I'm going to fill in between the apples with this type of peat moss to make it a little more decorative. And I just also have some like long needle pines that I'm going to put in the end as well. And we're going to see how that turns out. Okay, let's get started. So for the apples, my son has done me a great favor. He has taken all of the little labels off and he has twisted all of the stems off of the apples. So that is great. Of course, you want to wash them as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pointy part of the skewer and I'm going to go in the bottom of the apple and not all the way. I don't want to go all the way up so that it points out the top. Probably want to go just, most of the way in where it doesn't point out of the top, because that would be dangerous and you could hurt yourself. So here we go with the apples, and then I am going to just place them in my mold. Okay, so that works great. It has a heavy head, it stays because it's long, and the end of the skewer is attached to the wire at the bottom. So it has some security on the bottom. It's just, not, falling all over the place because it is attached to a piece of the wire at the bottom. So when I did make this, I didn't make a full ball, but I made it mostly completely a ball so we would be able to do this. At the bottom, if I only did it halfway around, the bottom of the stick would not be able to attach to a piece of wire at the bottom. So that is also another tip, that when you do cut this, make sure you don't cut it too short, because if you're only cutting it, maybe like a half moon to go around, the skewer will not be able to attach to the bottom and it's just going to fall, if you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to start with that, and I am just going to continue some apples. I probably got about 18 apples. I'm not sure how many I really needed, but I didn't want to run out, so I got more than I needed, and we will just eat the rest. Plus, we can eat these as well too. I think this is kind of a fun thing to do where, I can have this sitting on the kitchen counter, and throughout the season, people can pick an apple off of it and eat it, right? We don't want these apples to go to waste. They're probably going to last maybe 10 days, I would say. But, it's kind of a fun thing to do. Okay. All right, so we've got 2 apples in, and you can see it is pliable, and you can press down on it, which is great. Okay. And what I'm doing is the part with the stem is facing upward. So instead of having the bottom facing out, I'm having the top face upward and out. So now I'm gonna put in 3 apples. And I'm just gonna like randomly place them around. I'm not gonna fill in every gap, but I am going to use a lot of apples for this. And again, at the bottom, each one secures to a piece of the foam that is attached to the bottom. That is important, or this whole thing is gonna fall and it's not gonna work. You can see that one over there. This is taking shape nicely. I like it. So this is the first time I am doing this. So I've got a little trial and error as we go along as well in doing something like this. Okay, it's looking good. I like it. It's working. Actually, wasn't sure how well it would work based on the times that I tried to use the chicken wire and cut different ways with the chicken wire. It wasn't going well, so it's taken me a while to get this project together to show you all so that I could actually film a video and know what I'm talking about and telling you what works and what doesn't work. All right, so the one at the top, this is a little bit too long for the top, so I am gonna push that one a little bit. There you go, and that's perfect. I pushed it in a little bit more, not enough so that it's coming out of the top, but so that it wasn't hitting the bottom. Actually, I may use like most of these apples. Oh, it's working great. Love it, looks so good. Love to have color in the house. I'm going to put this on the kitchen island. I think that's going to be just a perfect place for it. Like I said, we can eat the apples as we go along in the season. Boy, aren't apples expensive? Oh my gosh, when I went to the store to buy these apples, you know, there's so many different varieties, but some of them, you know, are up to $3 a pound. These are, what did I get? I think these are Gala apples, and they were maybe like $1.79 a pound. They were on the less expensive side. That's why I picked them, because I had so many of them. I had so many of them to buy, but yeah. So I guess when we are talking about apples, you know, picking the lesser expensive apples is, you know, a more cost-effective way of doing this design, because apples are expensive. And I also decided when I was choosing them, the apples to choose, I did not pick the very, very smallest apples. So those were sold by the bag. They were very small, and I thought maybe they would be a little bit too small for my container. So I did pick ones that were just a little bit on the bigger side. That one. So let's put that one here at the corner. How is that going to look? Move that one up a little bit. See how it's looking good? Looking really good. Not sure how many of these I'm going to use, but I really like the way that it is shaping up. And the more apples that you put in, when all of the sticks are, you know, interjoined in the middle, it also helps support the apples and the frame, because the apples in the frame are heavy. So let's find where there are some gaps. So I've used a lot of the apples. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 6 left. And I'm gonna play around a little bit with this and then decide how many I want, or if I take some out. I sort of want them to look just interspersed. I'm not trying to follow any type of, method. Just kind of trying to fill in the form. But I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 apples. Actually, I'm going to move this one down because I think that I like that a little bit lower. See how that looks? And I'm just going to use some of this green moss to fill in the area. And this preserved moss, and it comes in many different ways. It comes in a roll, which I thought would be a little hard to mold around this when I was putting the apples in. So I just bought the pieces, the moss where you can just buy the individual pieces, because I just want to, intersperse some of the moss between the apples. And it's sticking very well, even with the floral foam, with the wire foam, that is. And you may have to use a little bit more. You can already see how that's turning out, how that looks great with the red and the green. There are places where I can add a few more apples. I guess so. Since I have them, why not? Why not put them in, right? I'll use them all. So I think this is 18 apples in total. Since I do have a few little spots. Does that look? I like it, the red and the green. And where should I put this last one? Maybe up here. Okay, so what do you think? Just a few pieces where I can just put in a little bit more moss. And I'm going to put some of these long needle picks. Again, these are faux, but you can go trim them off your tree outside if you want, just to give it a little extra. Have them stick off the side like this to give it a little bit more dimension. And again, you can use any type of greens you want. Any type of evergreens, boxwoods, anything, and just put a few of them around. But it just gives it that extra little dimension. All right, so what do you think? I'm really liking it. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. I have more projects that I am planning this week. My next one is going to be really interesting, and again, it uses chicken wire, and I am going to be taking this project and I'm going to be going from fall to Christmas with it. So let me know what you think about this apple topiary. I'm going to place it on the kitchen island and see how it looks. So thanks all for following along. Give it a like and a thumbs up and share, and I will see you next time.